Okay, memorable capture. I think I'd have to go back to sort of the early days really, sort of 1997. It was at Welford Pools, Dayticker Lake, which is now the Specimen Lake, a fish known as a big linear, 32 pound 12 ounces. At the time a big fish, but it all started sort of when I passed my driving test really in 1989. Obviously it opened up sort of everything really for me then. I was sort of just had to rely on my mum, like, you know, to take me everywhere. So anyway, passed my driving test. A few days later, saw a video called Carping on Particles by Andy Little. It was featured on Welford Pools in the Cotswold Water Park. Never had no idea where it was, but it was like gin clear water, and I thought, wow, you know, and they caught some fish. You know, it was just unbelievable, like just seeing what this lake was like. And I sort of had a look into it, and I realised it was only sort of 40 odd miles away. I thought, well, sort of the following year I was down there, you know, first trip in my car really, that long distance carp fishing trip. For 40 odd miles it sounds nothing, but then for me, like I just passed my test, it seemed to be like a sort of a massive trip. So anyway, it was just an eye-opener, this Welford Pools. The water was unbelievable. Once you get a take in thick weed and that, and knowing how to fish it, you're sort of well away, and I learnt all that at Welford. Definitely was sort of a learning ground for me. A whole new thing from the little clay match fishing pits that I was used to. It took me quite a few years to get my head around it, but I'd just become sort of infatuated with Welford, to be honest. Gradually started to catch a few fish. Owner helped me out as well a little bit, but started to improve, started to get quite good at catching the fish out of there. The stalking was fantastic, but there was a fish that eluded everybody for years and years. I saw it on the bank at 25 pound, and I think it didn't come out then for sort of 3 or 4 years. It was known as a big linear. Got to over 30 pound and got caught again. I kept seeing it in the margins, really cagey, always around with a little mirror, probably 9 or 10 pound in weight. Always came in first and sort of sussed out the baited area, so got really frustrating. Over the years, I caught everything nearly, apart from that one. So anyway, it was 1996, and I was really sort of getting into a lot of the fish then. I spent a lot of time on there. Well, I've been on there years, to be honest. I felt like I was really getting close, and then for some reason, I can't remember why, I had to go home early on the session. Somebody moved into my swimming. I did it the next night at 32 pound and a new lake record. And Jerry, the lake owner, ran me up the next morning and told me, and I was absolutely gutted, like all that work. But so I decided just to leave the venue alone for the winter. Went back the following May. I thought, well, I need to do something different for this. I've been fishing trout pellets and stalking and little rigs, and I changed my approach completely. I went down with a massive bucket of hemp and put the lot in the first night. It was just a massive risk, and a few people on the lake said, what are you doing? Nobody ever fishes it like this. Well, 2 o'clock in the morning it paid off, because my first bite over the hemp, it was the big linear at 32 pound 12 ounces. I just couldn't believe it. In fact, it was my last fish out of there, because obviously I moved off then, but probably as fish go, those old horseshoe Oxford strain fish now are a dying breed. You know, they're getting less and less, and it was just, at the time, it was one of the best around. It was bigger than anything that was in horseshoe, and it was just a fantastic fish. Linch was just starting to come through then, and that was producing some 30s. But yeah, this fish, I think it got me on the front cover of 3 or 4 different magazines in like the space of about 2 weeks. Of course, now sort of a 30 pounder, it'll barely even get in Carp Talk or with any of the other magazines, to be honest, at times. But obviously it was a lot different then, and a 30 pounder was still a massive fish. But as memorable captures go, that has got to be one of them.